Mr. President, honourable members of the European Parliament, first of all, let me thank the European Parliament for its ongoing concern about the situation in the two countries that feature in this debate as well as in the wider region. It's not an understatement to say that the recent tensions in Iraq and in the surrounding region has the potential to erase the hard-won progress of recent years, thereby affecting the lives of millions of people. And Mr. President, allow me to begin this debate by stating one thing very clearly. I am committed as High Representative and as the European Union, we are committed, all of us, to working to stop the current cycle of violence in Iraq, which must cease before it spirals out of control once again. This is also why I'm convening an extraordinary Foreign Affairs Council on Friday, coming back from Croatia sooner than expected, from which I received a strong mandate to carry out all necessary diplomatic efforts to contribute to de-escalation in the region, support political dialogue, and promote a political regional solution. These are the precise words of the conclusion of the Council. The President of the European Council and of the European Commission has also been fully engaged in these de-escalation efforts, and this is how it should be. Mr. President, honourable members, during the past 6 weeks, in fact already since last year, we have seen an increasing escalation of tension in Iraq. This culminated in the killing of Iranian General Soleimani by a US drone attack, followed by attacks by Iran against bases in Iraq housing troops fighting Daesh, which thankfully did not harm anyone. While it may appear as if for the moment the current situation will not escalate further, we, and I personally, have since the very beginning of this crisis been active in urging calm, restraint and de-escalation to all of the relevant parties inside and outside the region, from Iran to Iraq, to the UAE, to the United States, Turkey, Russia, China and others. We want to ensure that everyone with influence uses this influence to good effect and that we reach a temporary calm. Why are we so concerned about the current crisis and how it can affect the region? Well, the current situation in Iraq and the risk of further military escalation could jeopardize the substantial achievement in stability and in particular the fight against Daesh in recent years. The current situation could generate a number of dangerous consequences. The resumption of Daesh would have a catastrophic humanitarian impact, possibly leading to a dramatic increase in the number of displaced persons. We must avoid that at all costs. And for this to occur, preserving the achievement the global coalition has won collectively in the fight against Daesh is imperative. Such a situation would also risk diverting attention from the necessary political reforms that Iraq must undertake, starting with government formation, there is still a caretaker government, and the need to tackle essential social challenges, including fighting corruption. We have already invested significantly in Iraq's stability, reconstruction and development, with a financial support of more than $1.2 billion since 2014. This has focused on humanitarian aid, support for internally displaced persons, stabilisation in the liberated areas, civilian security sector reform through the SDP, EU assistance mission, and supporting good governance and job creation. We need to make sure, with our continued support, that the reforms legitimately demanded by the Iraqi citizens are delivered promptly, also bearing in mind the global commitments taken in Kuwait on February 2018 on the reconstruction conference held there. On this, the EU is fully delivering on the pledges we made, with over 400 million mobilised in the last 2 years to support governance reforms and promote sustainable job creation and inclusive growth. Honourable members, the situation in Iran is also something that we continue to follow closely. We have had a number of tragic incidents. The Ukraine International Airlines plane crash on 8 January, 176 people on board, including a high number of EU citizens. Iran has now taken responsibility for this crash. And as I said in my statement on the 11th of January, this was a deplorable tragedy. And once again, I want to extend my condolences to the victims' families. And we expect that Iran will continue to cooperate fully and undertake a comprehensive and transparent investigation. Within the same week, 59 people died in a stampede on 6 January during the funeral ceremonies for General Soleimani, and 20 individuals lost their lives on 9 January during a bus accident close to Tehran. Also in this case, I convey my deepest condolences to all of them. Honourable members of Parliament, in the current situation of tension, it is more important than ever to keep hold of the instruments that are serving to promote security, and in this context, the JCPOA remains crucial for non-proliferation purposes. A failure to preserve the deal will only add tensions in the region. Imagine for a second which would be the situation today had Iran nuclear weapons, and they would have been able to obtain those without the JCPOA.